Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today is a very special episode because I will be interviewing a very much accomplished theater actress. Her name is Sharon Sharth, and I remember being like 13 years old watching her in the movie Eat and Run, the little low-budget, sci-fi comedy from 1986 or 7, and she was just so funny, so sexy in that movie. I had to have her on the show today to talk about her career and stuff. One of the reasons why I love doing this podcast, I thank God for the internet, because if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't be able to find these people that I saw in like one movie and wondered what happened to their careers, because I am just so intrigued by who they are and their presence on screen, and I want to find out about them and stuff. So I'm very blessed that way. But yeah, I'm going to interview Sharon Sharth today, and we're going to talk about all of that stuff, her theater career, movie career. She even did an appearance on George Carlin's short-lived sitcom, which I want to ask about. And this is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, here is my interview with Sharon Sharth.
Hello.
Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hi, Tommy. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I am great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. It's such an honor. I thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Oh, my pleasure. So I was curious, are you easily offended?
I don't know. I don't think so. But it kind of depends.
Because
Why?
Occasionally I'm sorry, what?
Are you going to offend me?
Well, no, I'm just saying occasionally I swear on the show, so I just wanted to accommodate you and stuff.
Oh, no, that's fine with me.
Okay.
I probably will too.
Okay. So did you know early on you wanted to be an actress?
Well, my dad was a critic for the Buffalo Evening News and the Buffalo Courier Express, and he was a television and radio critic, like one of the first, and
Yeah.
I just, I went to a lot of theater with my mom, and then, I guess I really knew that I wanted to do it when I was in high school, and I was either going to get the lead in the operetta, it's a big musical, or not. And I said, God, if I get this, I'll know what I'm supposed to do with my life. And I got it. So, and I had been doing plays in high school all through my high school years. And, so yeah, it was kind of a done deal pretty quickly. Yeah, I knew in high school.
Nice. Did you have any acting influences?
Do you mean family-wise or just?
Or like anybody you watched?
Boy, I don't know. You mean when I started? I don't know. Daniel Day-Lewis has been a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's very inspiring to me, but no, I don't think there was anybody who I wanted to be, or no, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody. Maybe it was just everybody,
Yeah. Where did you study acting?
Well, I went to college at Fredonia, the State University of New York at Fredonia. That's just an hour, little over an hour outside of Buffalo. And I got my BFA in musical theater, actually. But then once I got out of school, and went to New York, you find out pretty quick you have to... Actually, this is not... I don't think this is true anymore, but back then it was. You had to make a decision between being an actor or a musical person. And so I decided to be an actor. That's what I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to the actor studio?
Yes. I did that in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who was in your class?
Oh, well, it's not really a class. It's just a play. You go and you audition, and people like Ellen Burstyn, and who else was there? Paul Newman was there at one point when I was working. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you go and you do this audition, and then they either choose you or not. I think you have to do a callback, too. It's been so long. You do a callback, too, and then they make a decision and, add a few people every year. And so they invited me in, and, it's a twice-a-week thing, and when I was in New York, you just go to the studio, and it's a place to work out. So if you're not, instead of taking classes, you go and work out at Actor Studio, and then they have these, some stars who basically, critique what you're doing and help you through it and stuff. So, but also at that time I was working with the Circle Repertory Theater Company in New York, and they, and I was working a lot. So, so I'd go, in between plays, I would go to Actor Studio to work out on things that I wasn't really going to get a chance to do in the real world, like Taming of the Shrew, that kind of thing, Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm. What was your first huge professional New York play?
Full for Love, actually. Full for Love by Sam Shepard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Robert Altman movie in the mid-'80s.
Was it Robert Altman? I thought Sam directed that. Didn't Sam Shepard direct that? With Ken Basinger and
I think
he was in it. I think.
I think Robert Altman directed it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right. I'm not sure. But Sam was in it too, right? It was Sam.
Yeah.
And Kim.
And Kim Basinger, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did that play lead to anything for you?
Well, I was on. I took over for Kathy Baker, who originated it, and then I immediately went into the next play at Circle Rep, which was called Full Hookup, and I just, the great thing was I was able to go from one play to another. When I was in New York, it was a great time because it was pretty easy. I just went from one play to the next. I did a lot of the lead parts at Circle Rep.
Mm-hmm. You seem to be more at home with theater than film and TV, given the huge gaps on your film and TV resume.
Yeah, well, it's. I think when I was in New York, I did film and television. You do it. It's very sporadic, especially when you're working all the time in the theater. So I would only do it sporadically, and then I moved out here, and I got. Okay, so what happened was I was doing a lot of work at Circle Rep, and they started to give my part. I would work with the playwright on a piece, and we'd work on it, and we'd do workshops, and we'd invite audiences and stuff like that. This was all at Circle Rep. They were paying us to do all this. And then they'd bring in a star to do my part. So they did that 3 times. And finally I said, well, I'm not going to be working on all these plays if you're going to give them to somebody who's a star. I'll go out and, be a star or something, get a name. And that's when I left New York, and I came out here to Los Angeles, and the first job I had, of course, was at the Old Globe Theater down in San Diego. And in the middle of the run, I was playing, it was Hank Williams' play, the Hank Williams play about, what was that called? Well, anyway, I was playing Hank Williams' wife, Audrey. And I was on stage, and my co-star, who was playing Hank, clipped me. You know, he had made a fist, and he just clipped my jaw, so that my jaw went across my face like a typewriter. You know, like, remember, you know, those old typewriters, and they used to go all the way over to the side. Well, he did that. My jaw went to the other side of my face. And we were just starting the show, and I was just about to sing my first song. And luckily, Audrey was always a little off key, so, you know, that didn't matter, but I could barely open my mouth because it was stuck in place and way over to the side. And so anyway, I got up and I sang my first song, and I kept turning around trying to feel if it was really as bad as it felt.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell. So I just got up and I sang my song, and then I got off stage to look in a mirror and see if it was really way over on the other side, like it felt like it was. And it wasn't. It didn't look that bad, but I couldn't open my mouth. So I just went through the whole show. Luckily, you know, I didn't have to sing well until the very end of the show. and then it was just a matter of I couldn't really open my mouth. So I did the best I could, and it was a Sunday night. So we have off on Mondays. And so I drove from San Diego back up here to Los Angeles, and I went to a chiropractor, and for the next 4 or 5 weeks when we were doing, I finished the run, I would go back down every Tuesday, but every Monday I would come back and get my jaw set back in place because it was dislocated. And at the end of the play, they sent me to doctors and stuff who basically said, you need to stop acting. You need to get out of the business. Your jaw is either going to freeze in place, open or shut at some point. It's that bad. And they wanted to operate, but they said if we do operate, you'll lose all the muscles on one side of your face. I said, I'm not doing that. So I was out of the business. I just thought, wow, it never occurred to me that I would have to do something else. But I started writing then, and I started writing children's books, and I loved it. So I totally got out of the business. I quit my agents and manager and thought, this is great. I'm going to be a writer now. And I wrote 16 books, but then I started writing a play. I didn't mean to do. I started writing this play, and then, of course, I had to act in the play, so I did a reading. You know, I have all my New York friends are out here, so I got a lot of my actor friends together, and we did a reading in front of an audience, and it was so great to be back on stage. And anyway, so that's really how I got back on the path, and that's about, 5 years ago, I think, 5 years ago. So I was out of commission for about 10 years.
Wow.
And they had to keep putting my mouth back in place, my jaw. And I had to wear braces because everything was off kilter. So it really was a huge thing, but it was a great thing because I wasn't in love with acting anymore. And then when I got out of it and found something else I love to do, which is writing, I found another piece of myself. And then when I was able to go back to the acting, it was like, oh my God, I haven't felt this fulfilled in years because this is home to me, being on stage or being in front of the camera. And so anyway, so there was a long time in there where I didn't do any acting work at all because I was taking care of my jaw and writing books. So I've been back in about 5 years, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I can relate to that. I've been doing stand-up comedy since 2006, and 3 years ago I had a car accident. I spent 30 days in a coma, and I was in the hospital for 5 months. Broke my leg pretty bad, and then many other things. And it made me realize, I need to pursue show business because I'm meant to be on this earth for something, and that's all. Show business is all I've ever been good at, and it's all I could think of that I'm here for. And so I did that. Started this podcast, doing lots of things now, and I'm trying. So
Good for you.
Yeah, so I understand, how how that is, when you have a life-changing experience like that.
Yes, yes. So you knew that you wanted to do this before you had the accident.
Oh, I knew this.
You wanted to be.
Yeah, I knew this as early as 4 years old, but the problem was when I started doing comedy at 23, I had no friends, no mentors to encourage me and keep me going or anything. And then after my accident, I discovered this podcast world, and I heard a lot of podcasts where I learned about the business side of it and stuff because I didn't know anything about it. That's another reason why I wasn't driven to do it for a long time and stuff.
I see. Yeah, sure.
I got caught up. I got caught up in alcoholism for a few years from the time I started and everything. And I'm 3 years sober, and I'm I'm doing pretty good.
Congratulations. Good for you. That's really fantastic.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Yeah, my mom is so proud of me, I'll tell you.
Oh, my God. That must have been so hard on your mother when you were in a coma.
It was. I thought she was going to die. It was such a strain on her. When I woke up, I thought she was going to die because she was so stressed about it. But thank God she's still here.
Do you have siblings?
I have an older brother, yeah. Yeah, he's 9 years older.
That must have been really hard on her. So you're now in the same area as your mom? Is your mom living there where you are? I don't know if I'm allowed to say where you live.
Oh, you can ask me anything. I'm an open book.
Okay, you're in Reading.
Yes.
And is your mom there too?
Yeah, sporadically. It's funny. She got a job out here and she moved here. We were homeless for a couple of years, and I was staying with various friends up in the Bay Area for a couple of years, even during my accident after I got out of the hospital. And she got this place. She got a job here, and then about 9 months later, she lost her job, and then the very next day got a job back in the Bay Area. So she stays with my brother in the Bay Area during the week, and then every couple of weekends she comes and stays here and stuff. And she's going to be here.
I see.
Yeah, she's actually going to be here a whole week for Thanksgiving starting Saturday, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What does your brother do in San Francisco?
He installs security cameras. Yeah. He's been.
It's pretty beautiful up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's not the same as it was socially or economically, but it's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great. God, you were homeless and everything.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Wow.
I recovered. It's amazing.
Was that due to the accident? Partly.
Oh, what was it?
Was you being homeless due partly to the accident?
Oh, no. No, that happened a year and a half before. My mom's ex-boyfriend, who she was with for 17 years, he was a great guy in the beginning, and then within 8 years he changed. I don't know what happened to him. He took advantage of us, and all of our money was gone and everything, and so we were crashing at friends and family's places and staying in her car for a couple of years.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough, but, you sound like you're doing great.
I mean, this is going to be our second holiday season in a row under our own roof, so we're very grateful to that.
Of course. Good.
So let me.
And to be sober and everything too. Of course,
Well, I have no choice but to be sober because my liver's damaged, and if I drink, my liver could bleed. So I gotta watch that, and it's been very easy for me. I don't crave alcohol no more. Life is too precious.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Great.
But yeah, so let me ask you about movie rules and stuff.
Okay.
According to your IMDb, your first movie was Fade to Black.
Yes.
I love that movie. It's so creepy and awesome at the same time. Yeah.
God, I don't know anybody who knows that movie.
Oh, they're stupid if they don't know that movie.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, Dennis Christopher. I've run into him a couple of times out here over the years. Yeah, that was really fun. That was my first. Was it my first? I think I had done another little movie when I was in college.
Yeah.
In Buffalo, but I don't remember what that was. I don't remember anything about it, but I did get paid for it. But really, my first professional job was Fade to Black. Yeah.
What do you remember specifically about that?
Physically?
Specifically.
I remember that I was the post office woman. Remember? I mean, I was delivering mail. So I had to walk up this huge flight of stairs, and the guy, Dennis Christopher, I can't remember the name of the guy he was playing, but he came to the door and he just grabbed the mail out of my hands and slammed the door. And after our first rehearsal, he slammed the door and then he opened the door and he said, "Wow, look at that face. What a great face you have. Did you see her face?" And I grabbed him. Anyway, so that's really all I remember. And then I remember calling him a strange bird. That was my line in the show, in the movie.
I remember that.
How funny. God, I can't believe you saw that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's also Mickey Rourke's first movie, too.
Yes, that's right. And wasn't it Vernon Zimmerman?
Yes.
Who directed it? Vernon Zimmerman. Yes, I remember him. Wow. Yeah. And Fern Champion, I think, was our casting person. He cast me in that, yeah.
Legendary Fern Champion, yeah.
Yep. Who's still doing it, man. She's still around.
Back then you were credited as Sharon Sharth?
Yes. I think, was I credited as AERTH? Or just ARTH?
I think LARTH.
Okay. Because my real name is Schlaerth. SCHLAERTH. But we say Schlarth. And when I left school, nobody knew what to do with the AE. So I just dropped the E and made it Schlarth. So that became my real name and my stage name. And then when I started writing children's books, I thought, children are never going to be able to figure out how to say Schlarth. That's way too hard. So I cut it down to SHARTH, Sharth. My mother was furious. But I said, "Oh, Mom, it's just too hard." So I love it. It's so much easier now. On so many levels. I mean, even when I take my cleaning in, I just say I'm Sharon Sharth because then they don't have to sit there and go SCH. What is it?
Yeah.
So.
And then you did one of Bradley Whitford's first movies, Doorman.
Yes, that was his first movie. We had a lot of fun on that. That was really great. I see Brad. Brad now, and I'm good friends with Jane Kasmarek, his ex now. I think Brad got married. At least he's about to get married, or he's married already. I don't know which one. But he must, if he got married, it was in the last month or so. To Amy, what's her last name? She was in Transparent. Is in Transparent. Amy. I don't know her last name. It starts with an L.
L. Locane?
I don't know.
Amy Locane?
No.
No. But I'd never seen this movie. Do you play his love interest in it?
Yes. Yes, we're solving crimes. The story is that there are all these doormen who in Atlanta who are getting killed, and he is a doorman. That he writes science fiction. No, science fiction. No, he writes murder stories on the side, but otherwise he's a doorman to make money. And anyways, we meet, and so then we start trying to figure out who's doing the murdering of the doormen.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah, and the great thing about that movie was that was produced and directed by Gary Youngman, who was Henny Youngman's son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Brad and I had a love scene where we had to make love in bed and stuff. And while we were shooting, Gary said, "Sharon, just take off your clothes." And I said, "No." He said, "No, you have to take off your clothes." And Brad was like, "Come on, you can take off your clothes." I said, "I'm not taking off my clothes. That's not in my contract." No, I wouldn't take my clothes off. And then Gary said to me, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but even if he does, Gary said to me, "You'll never work in this town again." Because I wouldn't take off my clothes. Isn't that ridiculous? And I mean,
Yeah.
They didn't need me to take off my clothes. They weren't going to see anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the business.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was not intimidated enough to take off my clothes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I respect your integrity, especially the next movie you made that I fell in love with you in, Eat and Run. You're also fully clothed, even though you spend half of the movie in the bedroom.
Yes. Oh, God, poor women, right? What
Yeah.
they do to us. Yeah. But that was great. That was working with Ron Silver, and he was really, I thought, a wonderful actor. I don't think that the movie came out very well, but it was fun to do, and Ron is a really good actor. And we got a lot of really good what do you call the people who work around you in a movie? The other characters in the movie were all really great people. So it was a really good experience. And of course, both of those I did in the same year. I did those just a couple months apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's right after that, I think in between those two movies, I went to Japan because the Japanese people wanted to do they wanted to bring their one of their acting troupes to New York to do something at Circle Rep, and we went to Japan to do Fool for Love, and we toured all over Japan.
Wow.
It was just amazing. Yeah. That was really fun.
Yeah, I was 13 years old. My local Bay Area Fox affiliate played the movie at like 2 a.m. on a weekend, I remember. And watching the movie, and I just can't believe how bizarre it was. You play this sexy, wisecracking judge who's a total nymphomaniac.
Yeah, that's right.
And oh my God, my favorite scene is after you two have sex, you go into the bathroom with a vibrator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he says to you, I have to hand it to you, Cheryl. You go out of your way to help other people, and you're like, what? And then you're like, ah!
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
See, that's the movie. Nobody wanted that. They didn't ask me to take my clothes off in that one.
Yeah.
Of course, they knew better. They knew that it had to be in the contract if it was going to happen. So, they have to put that in the contract. They can't just get you on set and say, okay, take off your clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, even before the Me Too movement, they weren't allowed to do that. So, but I think a lot of actresses have, and actors too probably have gotten intimidated about that kind of thing and have done it anyway just because they were told to. So anyway, I didn't.
Did you read the script and think to yourself, I'm going to have to put a bag over my head after this?
No. Because first of all, I knew what a great actor Ron Silver was, and just really when you're an actor, all you want to do is work with the best people.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to work with him was really the greatest thing. And also, I was a judge. And I wore great clothes, and they put my hair up in this great thing. Remember my hair? Like a beehive, or I don't know what it was, but
I loved your hair in
fancy.
it. Yeah, I loved your hair in the movie, actually.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's this cheesy, homage to sci-fi movies from the 50s,
Uh-huh.
And it's got its charm. And what was it like working with the alien, Pat Ryan?
Oh, he was the sweetest.
Mm-hmm.
The sweetest man. Yeah. Just very sweet.
Yeah, sad that he passed away.
Yeah. And Ron did too.
Yeah. He passed away in a really horrible way though, because he was I guess he got kind of blacklisted from Hollywood because he turned conservative, towards the end.
Who, Ron?
Yeah.
Ron, you mean?
Yeah.
That's right. I saw him at John Spencer. Did you know John Spencer from West Wing?
Oh yeah.
He was somebody I worked with at Circle Rep in New York, and when John died, I went to his memorial, and Ron sat behind me, and I turned around and I said, hi! And he didn't know who I was. I said, Sharon! Ron! And then after that, I found out more about his conservative ideas. He spoke fluent Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm from Buffalo, and he went to school at the University of Buffalo, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you go ahead. You were talking about how he died in a bad way.
I just feel like, he didn't really die with dignity in Hollywood because he had turned conservative and stuff. It's kind of like what James Woods is going through right now, and it should be overlooked, their politics, because they're talented actors, and they've done a lot of great work.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But my two favorite lines in the movie, I love it when you're first flirting with Murray, you're like, I'm a Gemini. How about you?
Yeah.
Because I'm a Gemini, so that's why I find it funny.
Yeah.
And
I always thought the funniest scene was, remember when I think it was my cousin was making cannoli or something.
And he gets the jewelry in there.
Yes, his cross got in the mixture, and then he kissed it. Out and burned his face. So if people haven't seen this movie, they're going to think we're out of our minds.
Yeah. It was so gross, but so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other line, I like it when you're like, I had time to think, and he's like, when? You're like, when we were having sex.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, why is she fucking him if he's a lousy lay? You know?
I don't think it was his fault. I just wasn't interested.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's great. And then this is really selfish for me because I'm a stand-up comedian and I'm a huge fan of George Carlin. What was it like working with him?
Oh, the sweetest man. The sweetest man. Because, that was his show. And, okay, so I played a woman that he had an affair with early on in his life. So they pulled his face back to make him look younger,
Right.
put a wig on him and everything. And then we had to make out, and he was so careful with me because I kind of jumped up on the, I don't know, the thing in the kitchen, the thing where the canapes were, and I sat up on that thing, and then he had to kind of maul me, and he just kept saying, "Are you okay, Sharon? Are you okay? I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to," He was the sweetest, just a real doll.
Yeah, I did a radio show with his brother a couple of years ago, and he's basically a carbon copy of George. It was quite amazing.
I remember him. I met him.
Yeah. And then I reached out to George's daughter, Kelly, and she's like all burnt out on talking about her father. She would rather talk about her paintings and stuff, she told me. And I was like, I'll get back to you,
Oh, yeah.
But were you a fan? Were you a fan of George Carlin's comedy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
I have.
Still, I still bring him up. He's the one who said, the human race, I'm going to paraphrase and not make it funny the way he did, but the human race will die out, but the earth will go on. The planet will continue. It's we who are going to be out of here.
Yeah. He said the planet
itself doesn't care.
Yeah. He said the planet's fine. The people are fucked.
Oh, is that what he said, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that.
Yeah,
he was a great guy.
He was right about that, though. Yeah, I have all of his HBO specials memorized because I just think he was the smartest, honest, most real comic there ever was.
Yeah, he was great.
He's a
lovely man. Yeah.
And then you got to work with Margaret Cho on All American Girl.
Yes. They had a lot of trouble with that show, though. She was not happy.
Yeah.
Because they weren't giving her, do you remember that? They weren't giving her any leeway. She couldn't do what she wanted to do.
Yep.
And so she was having a pretty hard time. But it was fun for me. I had fun. It was great.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a show that would open the doors for Asian actors, but things kind of remain the same, sadly. But yeah, it's funny. People ask me all the time if I know her because we're both Bay Area comics. I haven't encountered her at all, but I know a lot of comics who have out there and stuff.
She's here in L.A., probably, right?
Yeah.
In L.A. or in San Francisco? Yeah.
She's in L.A., yeah. But she goes down to San Francisco a lot, though. I interviewed Maddie Corman. She's such a delight. She was on the show.
Maddie. Okay. Maddie Corman.
She's the little blonde-haired Jewish girl that was on the show.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, sure.
Yeah, she's a delight. So you said you started writing plays and writing books after you had that incident with your jaw, you said, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so where did you find source of inspiration for the various things you wrote?
Well, I started out, my parents were both journalists. So I thought I would go into journalism. I thought, I'll just segue into journalism. So I started taking courses, And then I went to UCLA and I took writing courses, and I don't know, I love research. One of the things I love about being an actor is being able to do research about the time, whatever it is you're working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I just did a couple of plays last year and the year before about Americana. I mean, we were in Kentucky in one play and then Florida 10 years later. And it was just before the end of the war was the first play, and then 10 years after the war, the World War II, in the second play. And it was, I just love doing research. I love finding out what things were really like in those days. So I thought I wanted to do research. So I somehow ended up, I took a children's writing course, nonfiction, because I wanted to do, first of all, I'm a real animal lover, crazy lover of animals.
Yeah.
So I started writing about animals, and the greatest thing about it was how much I learned. I mean, I just really threw myself into the library, and it really was, it was before the, even now, I would still, when I go to schools to talk to kids about writing,
mm-hmm.
I say, you can't trust the internet. It's not fact-checked. You go to the library and you make sure that you've got, books have to be fact-checked, but not the internet. But people don't pay any attention to that anymore because of what's going on in the country. But anyway, but I loved doing research, and so I took this children's writing class, and I started writing about animals. And then I got my first job. What was it? I've written about wildebeests and finches and rabbits and all sorts of things. So, and I've written about, I wrote a book about finding your way with a compass. Mm-hmm. And it had a compass connected to the book, so the kid would get a compass. Anyway, it was fun, but I'm not doing that so much anymore, although I did just finish a young adult novel about suicide, and we'll see if I can get it sold. We'll see.
Oh.
It's called Wild Mind, yeah.
Really? Was there anything deeply personal that was the inspiration for that?
Oh, lots of stuff around the perimeter. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's about a 16-year-old girl who just thinks about it all the time, and through the whole book, you wonder if she's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And as things happen in the family and around the family and at school, and things really start crumbling, you wonder if this is the time she's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the book, and we'll see what happens with it.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's really important to get it out there, because suicide is a much bigger issue than anybody is willing to talk about, and younger and younger kids are doing it. So I think we need more information out there so that kids can pick up a book and know that they're not alone.
Yeah, somebody posted on Facebook the other day that dentists have the highest suicide rate,
Yes.
And
yes, that's true.
The last time I had heard that was on an episode of Seinfeld, so naturally I thought it was a joke, so I had to comment with Jerry Seinfeld's line, "Is that why it's difficult to get an appointment?" And I got a lot of likes from that. And the person who posted that wasn't offended at all. She actually thought it was funny too, but she was being serious, And
yeah. No, that is true. I know that too, as a fact.
But why do dentists though have that the most? I don't get it.
I don't know.
You think maybe it's a stressing job? I mean, seriously.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't even guess.
Yeah, it must be.
They're not, because they're not exactly, I mean, they are doctors. So you can't say they're not real doctors. They are. Maybe they just feel like they're not real doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'd have to ask a dentist.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a pretty thought-provoking book. Do you know when that book is going to come out?
No, I haven't sold it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, it's. I'm just beginning to talk to people about getting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, let's see, where are we now? We're in November. I would say spring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shooting for spring.
Nice. So you're on the finishing touches of writing it?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. So with all these things you've done, acting and writing and what have you, I mean, has there ever been some years that were just so unbearable that you had to struggle?
Oh, I think every year has struggles. I think that's just part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think struggling is part of the deal. And it's how we handle the struggling, you know?
Yeah.
I know that when I'm in gratitude for the wonderful life I have, I mean, I have an amazing life. And some days I don't recognize that. And so I have to really make my mind go, okay, you're in a bad mood. What can I be grateful for? My hair. I have my legs. I'm walking. I have this really comfortable bed. I have this beautiful home. I have a husband I adore. I have this beautiful dog. I have grandchildren. I have, so I have a really great life, but I forget it. I mean, I think that we're so used to forgetting how wonderful our lives are. There are people in this world who have nothing. No running water,
Yeah.
most of the people on this planet. So it really is just about being so grateful for what I have. But I think that the struggle is just part of the game. It's just part of it. So how am I going to react to the struggle? Well, I'm going to be grateful and, do my best, put one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. Yeah, there's something I've been hearing a lot lately that I totally agree with. And I wish someone had told me this during that first year or so that I was homeless. That God doesn't hand you something that you can't handle.
Right. Uh-huh.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Never gives us more than we can handle. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish someone had told me that. But I got through.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious, Sharon. You look so great. What's your secret to not aging?
Laughing a lot, I think.
Really?
I stay out of the sun. I have always stayed out of the sun. I really think that's it. I eat really well. I exercise every day. Yeah, I do what they tell you to do. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing is I've been making sure that I stay out of the sun since I was right out of college. So I was probably 21. I got out of college and I knew that I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to have the longest career I could. So I stayed out of the sun.
So you were doing scene study while everybody was on the beach.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Or at least I'd make sure I had a hat on or was under an umbrella.
Or sunblock.
Oh, yeah. I wear sunblock every day.
Mm-hmm. You got to out there in LA. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you been able to stay out of the fires that have been going on over there?
Oh, yes. What a horrible thing. I've had a number of friends who've been involved out there and have been having problems. Nobody's lost their house that I know of, but no, I'm too far east. I'm in Arcadia, so we were in Pasadena. We just moved to Arcadia last month, so we're pretty far away from it. And actually, we don't smell it or see the smoke or anything. We're that far away.
That's good. Yeah, love Pasadena. That's like one of my ideal places to live in LA, and then I'm trying to make it happen next year in 2019.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We'll be neighbors.
Yeah, I've been trying for like 17 years to get out there, but it looks like it might happen next year. I got all this good stuff going on and all this positivity,
Great.
Great. I'm so blessed. And I'm certainly blessed that I got to talk to you tonight, and you are blessed, Sharon. You are blessed.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. It was really sweet of you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a movie nerd, and I love bad movies.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that to me.
No, they're bad movies, but you're great in them. And
right. Well, thank you.
And I hope I get to see you in a play out there, and in your book will be successful. Would you come back on when the book comes out?
Oh, I'd love to. Yes, that'd be great.
Oh, that would be great. So, you have yourself happy holidays, and have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Take good care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Sharon Sharth. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so glad that we got to talk today. You are such a sweet lady, and I'm so glad that we got to talk. You far exceeded my expectations. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.